Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a warlord named Mohammed who deceived and pillaged and raped and killed. But he said he was a prophet, and the naive men believed, and they followed and they conquered, all in the name of peaceful Islam. Go ahead and kill the kafir, go ahead and conquer the land. Do it in the name of Allah and the self-proclaimed prophet. But no, 72 virgins are not waiting for you when you die. The religion of lust and power has already given you its reward. But won't you listen to another who was named Yeshua? They pierced his hands and pierced his feet. For us he humbly died. But he rose up on the third day, as it was prophesied, and he reigns in glorious heaven, yet he lives here in our hearts. Go ahead and kill the kafir, go ahead and conquer the land. Do it in the name of Allah and the self-proclaimed prophet. But no, 72 virgins are not waiting for you when you die. The religion of lust and power has already given you its reward.
Allah is a false god, a false god, a false god. Allah is a false god, a false god. Allah is a false god, a false god, a false god. Allah is a false god, a false god. And Muhammad is not a prophet. Muhammad is not a prophet. If you want grace and mercy and love, Islam is not for you. But Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the King of Kings who died to save us all. If you just repent and believe he took your sins on the cross, then mercy and grace, forgiveness and love, eternity can be yours. But Allah is a false god, a false god, a false god. Allah is a false god, a false god.
Hallelujah. Let Lord Jesus Christ shine forth. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining. Welcome to live stream to have conversations, debates, and discussions on what is Islam offering to the world. How is everyone? Where were you, brother? It's not my business. Sorry, I didn't ask in that way. Not my business. Okay, so it's a call-in live stream, and what I've done is I pinned the link. I'm sure I've done that, and we want to have conversations, debates, and discussions whether Islam is true. If that is the case, we want you to make your case for it. So until I get people calling, let me just gently remind those of you who are watching, please do not abuse the chat. I don't have that much problem with what you say, how you say it. It's absolutely fine. I have a problem when you repeat the same thing again and again. And there is a time and place. Repetition is good. When you are preaching the gospel, repetition is good. When you are exposing the false ideologies, repetition is good. But it is not good in my live chat. I literally like that. I see that's like so wrong. And if you are doing that, you will be probably get timed out. Also, if you are sharing someone's personal details, you will get timed out for that as well. Other than, you should be fine. Just control your fingers. Control your fingers. You don't want to have jihadi fingers. Why do you need to remind Muslims about the Al-Zud each day? You think they already forgetting? You think like it's that something not even important that you just leave the room and then you forget? This is bigger than fight between husband and wife. But you are very welcome to remind that, just as long as you are not doing that with like every few breaths. Don't abuse my chat, because like Mohammed is abusing the world. That doesn't mean you can abuse my chat. So this week, I think it was Tuesday, the rape gang inquiry report came out. It's 219 pages. I want to go through some of testimonies and some of the informations in that report. And main reason, actually, it is something I think it needs to be addressed quite often, so it gets people's attention and then people learn the lessons. But other reason is, today there was by-election thing in UK, and the gentleman who was the leading this inquiry, Rupert Law, he was interviewed by BBC, and BBC didn't want to talk about it. It was such a shame. So it seems media doesn't want to talk about it. Media doesn't want to give platform because they want us to forget about it. So therefore, I just thought in this live stream we can talk about it, and then we can share some of the statements, and then think through implications of all this. And those of you who are in the chat, if you want to get my attention, all you've got to do is tag DCCI Ministries. And if I'm sharing screen, most of times it doesn't matter you tag DCCI Ministries or not, I don't get to see it. Just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. Okay, let's start. Is there anyone who hasn't seen the report? If you haven't read it, please read it. It's only 200, not only, like, in a sense, not only, it's 219 pages. It's easy to read it in that sense. It's only 219 pages to read it. But within these 219 pages, there are disturbing statements. Should make all of yours blood boil. And hopefully once your blood boils, you will do something about it. So 219 pages. I don't have a ministry in Mecca. I remember seeing this comment before, but like, this is, I don't know, like very misguiding, Guardian. I don't have ministry in Mecca. Not sure what is. Did I say something? I don't even remember if I said something. I've been to that part of the world and then did some work with ex-Muslim stuff, but no, I don't have a ministry in Mecca that needs money stuff. No, we need gospel preaching people all around the world to preach the gospel and then challenge the false ideology of Islam. That is something, money can make it easy, but money cannot buy. Okay, let's start with a few basics. Content of the report. Acknowledgements. I was going to check someone's name. Yeah. So it's there. Okay. Rupert Law is leader of a political party. I don't know if he's leader or member. He's from political party. like every political party, they need Jesus, and then when people are in the power, things changes. But I don't know about this gentleman. I know he kind of contributes all of his salary to the area where he's MP, and when he was fighting to have the rape gangs or grooming gangs report inquiry, he had to do crowdfunding. So even though he didn't get proper support from the government, not proper support, zero support from government, all that he went through this, and it's very like something we need to kind of be grateful for him wherever you stand on his political views. People need to talk about this more and more, and then bring people's attention. So in the report, he's pointing out at least 250,000 white girls are being groomed, raped, put into prostitution, and then mainly done by Muslims, Pakistani Muslims. And then in the report, it kind of gives the reasoning why Islam can contribute to this. So it seems that Mark Drew is the one who kind of had them with the ideological side of it. Why, like, okay, it's not one Muslim is doing something, but why we've got like we've got lots of Muslims who are doing exactly the same thing in a different part of the country with exactly the same system, same approach. Is there any commonality there, or is there anything we can look at those we can look at those people and then say, oh, the ideology they follow is the might be the reason, because that is the common ground they have. So Duru put kind of seems help them out with that, and I've got Al. Hi.
Sorry I'm late, sister. I've been traveling and I just got to my next destination, so my apologies.
You've got the next destination?
I was at a different destination that was not here, and I just arrived here, so I'm here now.
That doesn't change the fact you are late, right?
That is correct. I was just trying to justify my actions so that when I get fired, I can report it to the appropriate human resources complaint department.
Yeah, we've got to find that department. Anyway, good to have you here, sister. How have you been?
I have been blessed. Been busy, but been blessed.
How is ministry going? What are the highlights?
Highlights are that lots of people are benefiting from the ministries. Lots of people are growing and getting trained and equipped. I've had the blessing within the last 2 weeks to get to meet a lot of people who have been learning from the things that I've shared, which I am grateful to be able to do how I can, and also preparing opportunities for the future to train and equip other people in Christ.
Okay, good. Thank you very much for being here. Have you heard about report that is being, you know about the grooming gangs, right? If you don't know, I'm gonna say, like, which planet do you live?
I do know about the grooming gangs. I have not read any of the recent releases. That's something that I have seen circulating, like various posts saying, like, you should read this. And it's definitely something that I do want to be able to dive into, but I have not yet done that.
Okay, good. So I'm going to make your life easy because I am very kind person. What else I am? I'm also a very generous person, so I don't want you to kind of feel that you wasted your time here with me for 2 hours. So I want to bring a few things to people's attention from that report. There are certain words, even I get stressed when I read it. So maybe you can even help me out with that. It's called using one another. Can people see the screen? Is it big enough?
I can see it. Hopefully others can. It obviously will probably depend on people's screen sizes, but I think it looks good. Not good as far as content, but good as far as size.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on from all these kind of things. This is summary. So at least 250,000 young white girls have been subjected to repeated rape, gang rape, trafficking, torture, pregnancy, forced Islamic conversions, and lifelong trauma. And it says this number is probably higher. The true number is, this is at least, I remember back 2000, I can't give you the date, when Jay Smith was still in Speaker's Corner, the numbers they were talking about up to 800,000. So it is such a shame that British government is not even able to identify how many girls were the victim of this crime. The reason they cannot identify is when girl turned up to the police station, they did not trust her. And some girls were not even brave enough to turn to the police station. When they turn to their schools, school hasn't done anything. When they turn up to their doctors or medical service, done nothing about it. And then, of course, probably most of you heard, there are some documents even got missing. Magical things happen when you are kind of trying to hunt down things. And then it talks about this is going on since 1950s. It didn't start yesterday. It didn't start a decade ago. It has been going on since 1950s. And number of criminals and then number of the victims got higher and higher when let's say uncontrolled immigration entered the Britain. So 87% of the convicted of these criminals are Mr. Muslims. 87% of them, sorry, I can't remember what I said, but 87% of them. I've got my list is not up to date. I think it needs to be edited since 2021, but I've got the list of those individuals, and then names are Mohammed and more Mohammed and more Mohammed and then more Mohammed. Goes on. So these individuals are overwhelmingly majority of the rape gang networks consistent of the Muslim backgrounds, Pakistani heritage, smaller group from Somalia, Iranian, Syrian, Turkish, and other origin where Muslims are living. Okay, so it's not only Pakistanis, it's not only Somalians, it is where countries are known as Muslim majority countries. But very big majority of this is Pakistani Muslims.
Real quick, it's possible you said this and I just missed it, amongst other things, but I know you pointed out that it's like 87%. You said something along the lines of 87% are Muslim, but actually what this is saying, and again, forgive me if you already said this and I just misunderstood, but it's saying that 87% have distinctly Muslim names, but that actually the estimated number of Muslims are 95%. So, go ahead.
Yeah, you are correct.
So like, if your name is Bob, but you're a Muslim, you're not going to be reflected in 87%, but you are potentially represented in the 95%. And there's lots of sick and deranged individuals that a certain ideology may appeal to, especially when they see things like this happening and getting away with it.
I'm going to give an example of Muslim with non-Muslim name. In my list, they all look Muslim names. Not all of them are Mohammed. but you've got like few Hamzas there, you've got Abdul's there, but they're all Muslim names. Yes, that's correct, Al. Thank you for correcting that. See? 2 brain makes 1 brain. Okay, and then we've got at least 149 towns. At least 149 towns. Here is the map. Let me find the map. Okay, here's the map. This needs to be a little bit smaller for everyone to see. All very dark ones, we know there were rape gangs there. The lighter, dark red, the lighter red is, we suspect that there are some rape gangs. The white ones is nothing. Well, when they say nothing, I am interpreting that as we have got no reports yet. That doesn't mean nothing is happening, because Muslim people are in all of those part of the UK. So wherever they go, they take their religion with them. Even Isle of Wight is like on the list, and that's like very, very British part of the country.
Yeah, so either no reports or none that they're taking seriously yet. Because, I mean, how many times have we been told about this entire map, like, not to take it seriously?
Even today, not today, actually, I don't know about today, but even yesterday, there were people on the social media were arguing, well, this is not trustworthy. This is not trustworthy. I guess the bottom line is, how do you describe whatever trustworthy or not? One of the thing is, you check the testimonies, right? You look at the historical references. You compare them. So why this is not working? Do you want to start with Chloe? Let's hear a couple of the young girls who's been victim of this, and then we see whether anything has been mentioned that might link with this very dangerous ideology is present in this world currently. Do you want to read it, Al, or do you want me to read it?
I can read it. Where do you want me to start? At the throughout?
We can make it. We can choose whose English is better than other person. Ideally, who's got good English should be reading it. Agreed?
Sure. So, although you're far more English than I am,
yeah, I get on the lines. I eat fish and chip on Fridays, all those kind of things. I drink normal tea, not this freezing cold tea stuff. Okay, this is Chloe, and let's hear her testimony.
Throughout her early childhood, Chloe was popular at school, performed well academically, and enjoyed an active social life. Although her parents separated when she was young, she describes her early upbringing as relatively stable. Following the separation, full custody of Chloe and her older brother was awarded to their father, despite his alcoholism. Her mother, on the other hand, was often absent from her life and became homeless following the separation. Chloe recalls a generally secure and supportive home environment under the care of her father. However, following his sudden death just before her 10th birthday, when she was 9 years old, I'm adding that, but that is the logical conclusion, she moved in with her mother and her mother's new husband, a man she described as a pedophile by whom she was sexually abused. Chloe's mother caught her husband assaulting Chloe on many occasions, but did little to stop it.
Just think about it, right? I am someone whose brain says fathers and mothers are biologically programmed to love their kids. They are biologically programmed to protect their children, right? In here, she's talking that her mother saw that she's being assaulted, she's been abused, and she did little to stop it. So choice between protecting my daughter or choice between pleasing my husband or not protecting my daughter. And then she goes with not protecting my daughter. Those of you who are watching, those things, when your kids see very basic example that you are not protecting them, you are not loving them, you know, they grow up with that in their mind. Job of mother is not protecting their child. Job of father is not protecting their child, not loving them. And then when they start their own life, because that's all what they have seen, that is going to go to that family and then go to her family, and then it's going to go until that chain somehow breaks. So make sure you've got time, love, and protection for your kids. It needs to be your priority. Society, like, they don't want, we live in the times they want to attack the family, right? Once they break the family, they are capable to destroy whole society. And this is simply an example of that.
It's very heartbreaking.
On one occasion, Chloe's mother caught her husband in the shower with Chloe, and instead of intervening, she closed the door and walked out. Chloe was 10 years old. What a man is doing in the shower with a child. And it's not like blaming game is not going to work, but it is for us to kind of see those red flags, right? When I see a man and child in the shower, I'm not going to shut the door. There is something needs my attention, and there is something needs attention of the police. The abuse soon escalated to rape. Chloe's stepfather supplied her with alcohol and cigarettes to keep her quiet, and she began smoking cannabis. At 10 years old, around the same time, Chloe started taunting and spending that thing.
I'm not sure what that word means, actually. Truanting. Okay. So to be a truant is to, like, go against the law. So if you're truanting, then you're violating the law.
Spending time in the local town center with friends unsupervised. She described group of Muslim men, primarily from Pakistan, aged 20 to over 50, showing them attention. What is man who is 20? Not your father, not your brother. What is he doing with 10 years old girl? A man who is over 50. What kind of attention he's giving to this child? In the intention of getting what back? Including wolf whistling and buying them alcohol. Many were taxi drivers who would take the girls into their cars and drive them in the town. At that stage, there was no sexual abuse. Although the men's behavior were clearly inappropriate, Chloe and her friend, then in their final year of primary school, enjoy being treated like adults.
What is the primary school in the UK? What age does that end? Is that 12 or is that a different number?
No, I think that's just before 11 plus exams. So that's 11 or 12 before 11 plus exams. Yes, okay. Like, she's still child. She's still child. The grooming scene soon intensified. The provision of alcohol and takeaways was accompanied by emotional manipulation with the men, many of whom were related to one another, presenting themselves as sympathetic friend to Chloe. Chloe described this process as them mapping out, are you vulnerable person? Physical contact, including kisses and massages, become increasingly common. Why are you kissing a child? Why are you massaging a child? Seriously. Meantime, the abuse by her stepfather at home worsened, and her mother was all but absent as a guardian. At this time, Chloe had an aunt and uncle who lived nearby. She often sought refuge with them. She had spent holidays with them during their earlier childhood and felt that she could trust them. On one occasion, she had visited them while tarunting. I can't pronounce that word, but anyway, before
Truanting.
returning home, trunting. So that's the word. I highlight the words. I am not going to pronounce it. I can't pronounce it. Returning home and spending the day there while her mother and her stepfather were at work. To Chloe's surprise, her uncle arrived at her house unannounced an hour later, and she invited him inside. After a brief conversation, Chloe's uncle sexually assaulted her. Chloe resisted, and he relented and left. The uncle whom she went and trusted and spent time with them turns up to her house and then sexually assaults the child. She told her mother about the assault, and her mother reported to the police. The police accused Chloe of lying, and no further action was taken. So, what are the reasons that we don't know? Or those right lead colors in the map are just suspected areas, nothing is being reported? Because you turn up the police and then police simply do not take your word for it. You are lying.
There's no suspicion if they dismiss everything.
Yeah. Until this incident, she had regarded her uncle as one of the best people in her life. Afterwards, there were no adults left that Chloe could confide in or seek support from. Increasingly isolated, she became more deeply involved with the group of Muslim men she encountered in the town center. So what happens? Your family is not there to protect you. They are not loving you. They are not caring for you. They are not protecting you. The ones you kind of think, oh yeah, they are the ones who protects me. You don't get that from them as well, from the relatives. You turn outside, right? Whoever gives you attention, that makes emotional connection.
The truanting, I looked it up to confirm what it means. So it specifically means staying away from school without like a good reason, without an excuse.
Oh yeah, okay, got it.
So she's, while she's supposed to be at school doing school things, being around her peers. So she doesn't have her family. She doesn't have school peers that she's spending time she's supposed to be spending time with. And then the people that she is spending time with, whether in her family or outside of her family, are doing these things to her, seizing opportunities.
One evening, Chloe's friends suggested that they travel to nearby town where one of the men had a hotel room. Why is this gentleman lives in a hotel room? Where is his house? British government is very generous. Only within last couple of years, people are giving these 5-star hotels. Before that, they were given proper apartments, proper housing, right? They were picked up by a man who was drunk and under the influence of drugs and taken to the hotel. When they arrived, hotel staff saw them, but they did not intervene. In the room, the girls were given potent strain of cannabis, which left Chloe, then 11, absolutely smashed.
Wait, whoa, okay. So primary, okay, when you said 11 plus, so do you mean 11 years of age? I thought you meant something completely different.
Like 11 plus is you are in 11 or 12, you are going to take exam to go to the different school. That's what I meant.
Okay, I am very confused what primary school means for UK. But
okay,
so she's 11 years old at this stage. I thought she was in 12th grade. Like I thought she was like 17 or 18. Like not quite 18, but like, so if primary school ends with high school, which apparently it doesn't, I need to look into whatever that means. I thought she was like 17 at this stage. She's only 11 and all these things are happening.
So I'm just Googling the ages. Age 5 to 11 years old. Yeah, so before 11 plus exams.
Okay,
11 plus are exams.
We would call that elementary school then.
Okay. And then after that, you've got like 11 to 16. You go to like different school.
Okay, we would call that middle school. And then above that is high school. Or I don't know, it sounds like there's like a bit of a mix there, but regardless. So an 11-year-old reports being sexually abused by her uncle, and the police brush her off. And
no, police doesn't brush off her. Police tells her she's a liar.
Yeah.
Different.
Which is worse.
Like, yeah.
And they like 50-year-old up to 50-something-year-old Muslim men are buying her alcohol at 11 or younger than 11.
Yeah, and they are turning to the hotel rooms, and then receptionist is not asking anything. Because remember, like when you go to the hotels, what do? You register, right? They take your ID, they take your passport, they take the pictures of it. And then especially like you cannot, if your room is like with 2 bedrooms, 2 beds, third person cannot come unless you paid like for 2 people. If you didn't even pay for 2 people, only 1 person is in that room. But in here, kids are coming into the hotel rooms. And what does receptionist do? Nothing. All those people, all those receptionists, even the cleaners in the hotel rooms, because in the hotel rooms, you've got cleaners who comes and then cleans your room, right? Following day or once you checked out, all those kind of things. So if there is any improper thing, anything in that room doesn't look right, you would expect, if I am cleaning someone's hotel room and then I say, oh, there is blood or there is smashed glasses on the floor, what is the first thing you do? You report that to the hotel, and then basic thing is, oh, there is something happened in this room. Let's call the police. From cleaners to the receptionist, they all should be in prison for a long, long, long time. I've got no sympathy for those people. There is no excuse. Oh, we didn't see. Oh, we didn't think there was something wrong. Yeah. Tell them to my. Anyway. Which left Chloe at 11 absolutely smashed. Cannabis. That's like even illegal in England. It was illegal. I don't know if it is illegal now, but it was illegal because we had neighbors who were growing cannabis, and then it was big all over the news when police find out. Chloe's friend was taken into another room by a group of men, not by one person, but by a group of a men, and Chloe was groped by the man who remained. Chloe resisted, and he hit her. The man did not attempt to sexually assault her again. Instead, throw the girls, both of whom were still intoxicated, out of the hotel and refused to give them drive back to their hometown. They were forced to walk. It was around midnight.
So it's one thing if the hotel staff sees, two 11-ish year olds come in and they think, oh, they're their kids, whatever. But you see 11-something-year-olds get kicked out.
No. If you are I can say, okay, they might be kids of these individuals. If there were only two men, we are talking about group of men, right, in here. And white British girl, how do they look? And Pakistani man, how do they look?
Yeah.
You would ask, oh, can I see your passport? Can I see your ID? So there is no way there is anything indicates so far that someone might have the view that, oh yeah, they are their kids. Go ahead, sister. Sorry, I am angry about all these things.
I mean, rightly so. This is evil and disgusting, and yeah.
You were pointing out.
I was pointing out, even if there were some circumstance in which you could somehow think, oh, those are just his kids, whatever. Parents don't normally kick their 11-something-year-olds out of a hotel room. Like, there should definitely be questions raised by a ton of people if two 11-something-year-olds are being kicked out of a hotel room and forced to walk.
This is happening like midnight.
Not midnight, even
yeah. I've been on the streets at midnight or just before midnight, sometimes after midnight. And I'm not 11 years old. I haven't been 11 years old for a very, very long time. And I'll tell you, it is not comfortable. You don't feel safe. Now, in here, 11 years olds are on the streets midnight under the effects of the alcohol. Chloe didn't want to go back to her home as she feared her mother would beat her for being out too late. So she stayed with her friend. In the early hours of the morning, Chloe was collected from her friend's house by the police after her mother reported her missing. Chloe lied to the police and her mother about where she had been. Chloe's mother grounded her for a month, meaning she was stuck at home with her pedophilia stepfather. A period she described as torture. After a month, Chloe arranged to see her friend, who boasted that she had a new boyfriend. Chloe left the house to meet her, and the girls were picked up by the boyfriend, who was, in fact, 25 years old Indian man. How old is your boyfriend? Oh, I am 11. My boyfriend is 25. Even today, like when someone says, oh, I am like 35, my boyfriend is 50, you just like, oh, we need to talk about that, right? Initially, Chloe thought the man was nice, posher than the other man she had met in the town center. He took Chloe and her friend to a shop where he purchased a bottle of vodka before picking her up, one of his friends, and taking the girls to
a secluded location. So somewhere that's away from everybody else somewhere where it's not very visible, and things can happen.
Yeah, because he just got the bottle of vodka. And he's got his friends. During the journey, the man began pressuring the girls for sex. 11 years old girl. Does she even know what is sex? Chloe refused, stated that she was on her period, but the man replied that it didn't matter. Night was falling when they arrived, and the boyfriend took Chloe's.
Night was falling when they arrived. One moment. Night was falling when they arrived, and the boyfriend took Chloe's friend out of the car, leaving Chloe alone with the other man. He proceeded to rape her on the back seats. The incident took place in 2003. In 2022, Chloe took the two men to court, but neither were found guilty. From this moment, Chloe's life spiraled. At 12 years old, she began drinking heavily, smoking large amounts of cannabis, and taking harder drugs, including ecstasy, anything to block it out of her mind. She would drink before school just to get her through the day, and her attendance dropped significantly. She and her friend would spend school hours in the town center, walking around until somebody picked them up in a car. And it continues. It's a very vicious cycle. The enemy definitely seems to cash in on vicious cycles. And we see this with Islam all over the place. Isolation is such a big thing, and it's something that so many people struggle with in so many different ways. Obviously, this is an example that is more normal than it should be. But even in examples that are different than this, it's definitely something that the enemy seizes and continues to wreak havoc through. So be aware of that.
Messed up, right?
Yeah. I read down to the bottom line. I didn't read somebody bought because I didn't know what was after that, though.
You read until where?
So the sentence continues, somebody bought. So the last three lines have not been read yet.
Walking around until somebody picked them up in a car. Somebody bought them alcohol or somebody gave them drugs. There were times when Chloe would be missing up for 3 days, during which time she was passed between taxis, drugged, abused, and raped.
Just at 12 years old. In every case, the perpetrators were Muslims and primarily Pakistani. In every case, they were Muslims.
Probably they look at this girl and then they're just like, well, she's older than the mother of the believers, Aisha, right?
But Islam's great, right? Because it makes alcohol haram. So, that makes everything okay, right?
I talked to someone he was in prison, and he converted in prison to Islam, and we were talking about like stuff, and then he mentioned when he was discussing like, okay, when he gets out, what are the things he can do to support those like jihadists in prison stuff. And then apparently those jihadists needs money, right? You need to run your gang in prison, you need money, all those kind of things. And then one of the thing he was involved was before he went to in prison, selling drugs. So those jihadists, some of them are well known in London. The guy tells him, you can sell drugs as long as you are not giving it to Muslim, because others are kafir. Who cares about them? So they are giving these drugs, these alcohols, all that to white non-Muslim girls, kids, not even girls, they are kids. In every case, yeah, sorry.
Well, this has been a thing that's been known for a long time too, because there's been numerous reports of this happening with alcohol and drugs to school-aged children, to groom them and have them locked and addicted, and all sorts of things. But
I cannot emphasize enough importance of healthy marriage. I cannot emphasize enough. Well, of course, on the other hand, I'm very much where doesn't matter how healthy relationships husband and wife has and kids have, all those kind of things. At the end, criminals don't look at those kind of things. They find ways to groom, they find ways to abuse. But healthy, good family life can show those red flags, and then you do something about those red flags. She's 12. On one occasion, Chloe was abducted by an abuser who was driving drunk and taken to the graveyard. He gave Chloe, still 12 years old, whiskey before forcing himself on her and raping her in a graveyard. You know how scary it is to walk around the graveyards at night? Forced himself on her and raped her. He withdrawn before ejaculation and forced the empty whiskey bottle into Chloe's vagina, where it shattered. After admitted to AA, but no questions were asked about how she had sustained such injuries.
at 12.
Yeah, they checked her out, removed the broken glasses. She was discharged. Think about it. Like, it is not in the intention of anyone to have any wrong desires or thoughts, but she is simply taking from one place to another place without her permission. She's only 12, and other places, graveyard, that by itself is scary, right? After you are raping 12 years old, her private part is not even developed yet. Her body is not even developed yet. After you force yourself into her, that's not enough. You are gonna put a bottle into her vagina.
And she's got all that broken glass. And no one asked any questions?
Yeah, in a hospital. You turn up the hospital. And then doctor, nurse. You've got like person after person comes and then takes you out, right? First person comes, what is your name, date of birth, all those kind of things. What is your issue? You tell that. And then nurse comes and then checks you out and then gets your blood pressure, all those kind of things. And then doctor comes. So doctor sat down and then, oh, pieces of glass number 1, pieces of glass number 2. It's just a magical thing how these end up there.
I've been to the hospital lots of times. Not the UK hospital ever, but or any hospitals abroad, but I mean, it could be something super simple, and they still ask lots of questions. I don't understand how this neglect could be this severe. And I think neglect is too soft of a word even.
You would expect someone to call the child service, right? Doesn't matter whether she did it, someone else did it. She's in this situation. Police should be stepping in. Child protection service should be stepping in. But no. Okay, we remove the broken glasses. Time to go home. Just when your hand cuts or when you've got cut on your leg, you know how painful that is. And then they just send her home with like removed glasses from her vagina. She's 12.
Not only that, but she's admitting herself. There's no adults and no questions. Like, even the lack of adults should be a concern, right? Like,
if you turn up the hospitals, anyway, anyone who was working that day in that emergency service, put them all in prison. All of them. Chloe was questioned by police due to her absence on a number of occasions. Each time, she was asked where she had been, who she had been with, and what she has been doing. So her mother is calling the police when she's missing, right? There's positive sign there. She replied she had been having sex with adult males in the cars. Police is asking her question. Answer to police's question is, I've been having sex with adult males in the cars. Rather than opening an investigation or pursuing her abusers, the police dismissed Chloe as prostitute. 12 years old. Identified as prostitute. 12 years old.
Even if she was willingly and capable of being a prostitute, like in every regard that entails, of her own volition, legally, every single other person involved with her that is an adult. Hatun, that's illegal in the UK, right? Like, even if it was legal for her to be a prostitute to people her age, which I'm pretty sure that's 13. Not a thing.
So, according to Check Google, you can work and earn money from age 13. But there were strict rules about young people under 16 can work. If you are age 13 to 16, you are not allowed to work during the school hours. So minimum age of working is 13.
But that's like normal work, right? That's not prostitution.
Even sake of the argument, her job is prostitution. Wouldn't police say, oh, excuse me, you started this job very early? Because she needs to be 13. She's 12 right now. How can like 12 years old, seriously, like how can 12 years old makes a decision that, does she even know what is prostitute? Like seriously.
Wow. Okay, I just read the next line.
Why don't you read it for all of us?
They asked her whether she was consenting to the sexual activity, and despite Chloe telling them that she did not know the definition of the word consent, they reported that she had been.
Yeah. So,
she doesn't even know what it means to consent at this point in her life, which, based on the experiences that are outlined in here, yeah, it sounds like consent has never been in question. It's never been something that she's even if she knew the definition of the word, never had the opportunity to actually live out.
that
Because
Mr. Pakistani Muslim never asked her, we are in a graveyard, would you be okay if I have sex with you? He never asked that to her. Oh, would you be okay if I just put this vodka bottle in your vagina? No, she was never asked that. Police asking her.
not by her. Yeah, not her stepdad, not her uncle, not all the guys that are picking her up in their taxis. Not her friend's boyfriend who had a friend. Not that friend. How did the police report that she consented when she doesn't even know the meaning of the word consent as a 12-year-old?
Or how police was
And
able to.
Go ahead.
How was police able to label her as you are prostitute?
I don't know what the laws are over there, but in the US, even if you say you consent at, say, age 12 to be with somebody
Yep.
who's, say, 25,
That's illegal.
you actually legally can't consent. Even if you really, really consent and you really, really want to do that, you cannot legally give consent. In the UK, is it like that?
That's supposed to be the case. Yeah. On the paper, yeah. But it looks like in the practice, no. In the practice, no, that's not the case. So all those Pakistani Muslim men are raping her, and then police says, well, that's your job as a prostitute. Even police is aware that prostitute needs to give consent, versus Chloe doesn't even know what word means. Of course, Mr. Muslim listening this, right? Because they never asked her. It's in different parts of the report. It's been stated. So your silent is your consent. And silent is, in this occasion, you are not screaming for help. That's your consent, right? As I said, all those individuals who are working in emergency service, put them all in prison. All those police officers, any of them who interviewed her in any part of her life, put them in prison.
I don't know if we'll be going through it today. I don't know if it's included in these reports at all, but I have read various other reports that have been released about some of this stuff going on in the UK. And I think one of the things that may be in question here, or may be a piece of the puzzle here, is that oftentimes the police are actually involved. They're not just dismissing it, they're not just denying it, but they're actually involved in a lot of these things.
Yeah, we've got police officer who is in prison, simply his involvement taking part in rape gangs.
I don't know that I would call that simply.
Sorry?
I said I don't know that I would call that simply. That seems like way more than enough to be there.
Yeah, some of them, there are a couple of cases, police officers is in prison because they were part of the grooming gangs. Yeah, like the girls are saying police is involved as well. We can, once we finish with Chloe, we can check that part of the report as well. The police found Chloe as well as other missing children in the car with the gang members on multiple occasions, but let the gang members go without so much as questioning them. On one occasion, Chloe was in the town center and was identified as a missing child by a police officer who questioned where she had been. Chloe told the police officers about full extent of the abuse, and the response of the police officer was that nothing could be done and Chloe was let go.
She's still, what, 12 at this time? Somewhere around 12?
Yeah.
And they're telling her nothing can be done?
Yeah.
And if she's telling the police officer the full extent of the abuse, and that includes her home situation, that includes out of her home situation, and they're saying nothing can be done, and they're letting her go back to that home, letting her continue to be in these situations.
Like, they found her with the gang members in the car. Like, don't you see, like, when you are police officers, right? When you stop the car, you ask people, oh, give me your driving lessons. And then who are these people? There's only one little girl there. And then others are over 25 to 50. Like, don't you need to say, okay, whose daughter is this? In response to her frenzy and deteriorating behavior, the school regularly placed Chloe in isolation and compelled her to attend additional after-school classes every day. This did little to improve her emotional state. And she continued to spend time with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's boyfriend. This went on for a number of years.
With her friend and her friend's boyfriend.
Yeah. What did I say?
Her boyfriend and her friend's boyfriend. I thought you said.
Anyway, whatever I said, it says spend time with her friend and her friend's boyfriend. This went on for a number of years. The boyfriend would supply the girls with alcohol and drugs, as well as introducing them to his friends, who were exclusively South Asian men, not the Chinese, not the Japanese, okay? There's only one group there. On one occasion, on one occasion, he took the girls to his place of work, a textile factory, where he raped Chloe. Following this incident, Chloe stopped spending time with her friend who, up until this point, had accompanied her throughout her exploitation.
Exploitation. So yeah, as she's being exploited, her friend was with her, and now her friend's not even, she's no longer spending time with that friend, which realistically, yeah, she should not be spending time with that friend, but
Well,
she's real friends.
At age 12, she's the only one you have, right?
Yeah.
You've got
And now she doesn't even have
home.
her.
Yeah. You've got broken home, you've got broken family members, and this is all you have. Anyway, she moved from one place to other place, granted all those kind of things. Chloe made further appeals to social services and was eventually removed from the house and placed in foster care. She lived with a couple who cared for several other foster children, and though she found them snobby and judgmental, found some semblance of stability with them. But it did not last long. She was still living in the same town. So when she went out to the town center, as she often did, both alone and with her foster carers, the Muslim gang would recognize and target her. She remained at the same school, and because now she lived far away, the foster carers paid for taxi to take her there. She would ask for the taxi driver to drop her near the school, and rather than attending, would walk one of the neighborhood where Muslim gangs spend their time. The gangs would take her into their taxis, ply her and with drugs and alcohol, and sexually abuse her. That's all of her 12. How about, what do you remember? What is your highlight of your age 12? She's got nothing. Abuse and abuse and abuse and abuse. And now she's 13. Not much difference. At 13, now she's got lots of health issues. And no one is asking like, how as a age 13, you get all these kind of problems in your vagina and other places, right?
Did you fully read that first line on that last paragraph before that?
No, I didn't read it. Do you want to read it? It makes me throw up, so, but you are very welcome to read it. We need to read it. We need to read it, because when we turn blind eye, it's going to happen again and again. And it's been happening for, like, I am aware is over a decade, but apparently it's been happening since 1950s.
Around the age of 13, Chloe disclosed to social services that she was being sexually abused by gangs of Muslim men. In response, social services did not intervene, but rather talked to Chloe about contraception and sexual health. So not, let's stop these evil, perverted, pedophile men from raping you repeatedly. But yeah, you might want to like have them wear condoms or something while they rape you.
You might
want to start taking birth control, because like, what if your rapists get you pregnant? Like that would, You don't want to
That
get
was,
pregnant from your repeat rapist, do you?
I think I deleted the video. I don't know if I have it or not. There was this video. This guy is interviewing these three gentlemen, and then this gentleman's, oh yeah, sometimes we might have troubles because this girl might scream or might claim that person is our child stuff, become pregnant stuff. So in here, what is social services doing? Here is the have to
Helping
have,
them get away with it.
instead of what is the term? Have safe sex, have to have safe rape.
It's not safe rape. That's not a thing that exists. It's just
Like offering the condoms, all those kind
don't
of.
get pregnant from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make sure any babies conceived by your rapist die.
Look at, like,
Depending
she's
on
only
condition.
13. Amount of diseases she got because of all what she's gone through within last 2 years.
One social worker started regularly taking Chloe to a sexual health clinic where she was diagnosed with chlamydia in her throat and vagina, gonorrhea, genital warts, and pelvic inflammatory disease. Neither the social workers nor the clinic staff questioned or reported this. The police were aware of Chloe's activities, but instead of targeting those responsible for her abuse, they routinely failed to question them, let alone pursue further action when Chloe was found in cars and houses with them. This is not a situation where the police did not know the abusers, didn't know how to find them, didn't know how to prove or disprove this. They found her with them. She clearly was having severe negative impacts from all of the repeated abuse. That was provable. That was proved. But they didn't even question them. I know we're nowhere near done with this one, but is this woman still alive now, woman, if she made it that far?
Yeah, she's alive. She
Please, everyone, keep trying.
she was in the inquiry, so she testified in the inquiry.
Everyone who's listening, please pray for her.
Do you want to continue to read it?
Chloe was soon moved to a different foster placement with a far more protective care. On one occasion, a gang came to the foster home searching for Chloe, and the care fought them in the street to protect her. Around the time Chloe turned 14, a social worker approached her about her ongoing sexual exploitation. This was one of the first times this had happened, and Chloe was relieved that her abuse was finally being addressed. However, rather than offering a solution, the social worker instead told Chloe that the producers of Emmerdale were looking for a young actress to play a victim of a child sexual exploitation, and asked whether she would be interested in auditioning for the role, given her experience. Hey, we know you've been sexually... Yeah, we know you've been abused and raped, and that we've done nothing to stop it, but hey, do you want to have to relive that for a movie we're making? Do you want to come deal with all that? Nobody's going to take you seriously anyway. You want to, deal with more of that? Also, there's so many very, very, very evil things here.
Human heart is so far from the Lord, right? She was missing for 6 months. Like, just read the following. Following this exchange, Chloe upset, angry, in the state of disbelief. What did they expect? Oh, finally, someone thought I can play that character. Ran away from the foster home, and after being abducted by a Muslim gang, was missing for 6 months. So when someone is missing for 6 months, they're not putting their feet in the sea. Like, she is 14 years old. Is she 14 at this stage? Yeah, she's 14.
Yeah.
Missing for 6 months.
Just turned 14.
Yeah. She was trafficked across the length and breadth of Britain. She was taken to house after house and raped and abused by guy after guy after guy after guy. The man who abused paid her money to the gang. The man who abused her paid money to the gang, which treated her as a little more than commodity. She was reported missing, and her photograph was on the show on TV. Her abuser remarked on this. Oh, you are that girl of the TV that is missing. But her whereabouts were never reported to the police. Chloe describes a cycle of grooming, rape, and drug and alcohol abuse. This went on until eventually she was located by the police. Then police find her after 6 months of being raped, right? She was
6
in the
more
car
months of being raped.
Yeah. Sorry, yes. Yes, 6 more months. And she's 14. When police found her, she was in a car with South Asian Muslim men. The man was let go without charge, and she was returned to her mother's house.
Is this South Asian Muslim man the one who's reporting, "Hey, I have this girl. I found her. Please keep her safe"? I kind of doubt it.
I don't know. Yeah, that is. I don't think there is anything indicates. Oh, I find the girl from the telly. No.
And even then, do you not investigate him? Even if he claimed, "Oh yeah, I found her," do you not investigate him? Do you not do anything? What do you mean? This man was let go without charge.
So, if he's the guy like, oh yeah, I find this girl, like look after her, protect her, I think she's gone through some stuff, he would drop her to the police station, right? You find, like, even when you find someone's cat, what do? You call the animal rescue, right? When you find someone's dog, you call the animal rescue, you bring the dog there, or they come and pick the dog up. In here, you find a child who has been missing. She's on the TV. First thing you would do is call 999 and then drive to the police station, right? No, in here, police found her. No one get in touch with the police to say like, oh, we've got the girl. She returned to her mother's house. Chloe's relationship with her mother had completely broken down at this point. So this girl has been already in foster care a couple of times, all that. And then they're taking her back to her mother's house, where her stepfather is doing ugly things to her, right? So she continued to run away, and her psychological state deteriorated further. Following another period of grooming and sexual exploitation by a Muslim gang, Chloe was taken into the police custody and transported to a security unit at the child's home. How many people have been arrested at this stage? You would expect some people to be in prison at this stage, right? I'll tell you the
I
number.
would have expected this to be 4 years ago. Somebody was behind bars.
I said at this stage because it says like police put her in the security unit.
And also, why didn't they do that 4 years ago?
Because
They couldn't relocate her away from her abusive stepfather 4 years ago?
well, short answer to that is appeared in the other reports that because we didn't want to come across as Islamophobe and racist.
Was
So
her stepfather a Muslim?
I don't know about that one, but all over the grooming gangs, people didn't want to come across as Islamophobe or racist. Therefore, from hospitals, social care, nurses, school.
Police.
I think about it very practically, right? You are 12 years old. You just got out from the hospital where they pulled out the glass from your vagina. So you are not walking normal, right? Your body would show the signs that you are not fully well at this stage. How come none of those school teachers ask her what's wrong? When she was doing gym classes, no one ever noticed anything. Like she's got these bruises, right? When you are raped, you get lots of bruises. How come no one from the school stepped in? We've got someone in the backstage, apparently. Let me take the call on. Actually, let's finish Chloe's testimony. Caller, if you can wait there, we will take you in after we deal with Chloe. She described the home of being like a prison. Every aspect of her life was controlled and surveilled, and she was routinely subjected to the body examination, including full cavity search. Chloe found the experience highly traumatic. She remained there for 9 months, by which time she was almost 15. Social services determined that she was well enough to be released. So they didn't put her in that house for the protection. No. That's not the case. They are not caring that this girl should be protected. She was placed in a foster care, not from where she's been living before. Yeah, very people. Remember the Muslim gangs were recognizing her on the high street? Yeah, let's put her back there. She found a full-time job there. She was involved with hairdressing and beauty course nearby college for next 2 years. Chloe describes the time as fantastic. As Chloe approached her 18th birthday, social services notified her that the foster care would soon end. They identified a house for her. After parting ways with her carer, she moved in and got a retail job to support herself. Despite having little experience taking care of herself, Chloe's life remained generally stable through this period. Eventually, Chloe re-established contact with her friend whom she had been abused with as a young child. She invited her over to her house. And when she arrived, she was accompanied by a group of Muslim men, all of whom remembered Chloe from the past abuse. Immediately, Chloe's life was thrown back into chaos. The man refused to leave, and in Chloe's words, it was no longer my quiet little house, it was their house. They smashed windows, kicked the doors, left the house an absolute wreck, and sexually abused Chloe. One of the men previously abused her pinned her down, pulled his trousers down, and sat on her face, orally raping her on her own sofa as the rest of the gang watched. She returned to the drugs and alcohol to cope. She's working, she's so traumatized that even joking that someone is pinched her button, she was traumatized by it, affected by it.
I mean, to be fair, no one should be pinching anyone's butt. That's already, unless you're married and it's consensual, right? Like if you're married and, you know, your husband does it to you and you want it, or your wife does it to you and you want it, okay. Other than that, nobody should be touching anybody like that. That's already sexual abuse. So surely the shop owners would want to not have somebody who's doing that sort of thing to coworkers, right?
Yeah, you get fired for that. You should get fired for that.
So what happened?
So she punched him in the face in the middle of the shop. She was brought before the management and tried to argue her case, but was fired. So she's the one who got fired, not the other one. Left with no income, Muslim gangs were still occupying her house. Nowhere else to go, no ability to remove them. She remained there with them. They drugged her, abused her, raped her, including with objects, including soft drink cans, keys, and baseball bat. How is that even practically possible? Seriously, like how? Before long, they started to pay her bills to consolidate their presence in her home. On a number of occasions, they brought young children into Chloe's house to abuse them. Chloe recalled. So it's the house now become place for, instead of these Mr. Muslims to take it to a hotel, now they are bringing it into Chloe's house. Chloe recalls a number of occasions when boys under the age 18 from the Muslim community were pressured and bullied by their older friends and relatives into raping her. They are teaching underage kids to rape other kids. And not from the Buddhist community, not from the Hindu community, from Muslim community, right? Chloe was forced to commit crimes including insurance fraud and holding of drugs. On one occasion, she contacted the police to report an assault that was taking place in her house, and when they arrived, Chloe was threatened with arrest rather than the gang members, as the property was registered in her name.
She reported a crime.
Yeah, and she got, we will arrest you. One evening, an associate of the young gang from the neighboring town arrived at the house. Sex trafficker. He soon began taking Chloe to bars and nightclubs in the surrounding area.
Real quick. This is a notorious sex trafficker. Do you know what that means? To be a notorious sex trafficker?
Yeah.
Well known. Extremely well known.
Police knows who you are. Neighbors knows who you are. But no one does anything about it. Why are you famous? Oh, I am famous sex trafficker. I'm famous because I'm sex trafficker. He would spark her with heroin before handing her over to a man who sexually assaulted and raped her. You know how dangerous heroin is? This girl is only 18. Chloe became addicted to opiates and her health deteriorated rapidly. She became whatever. Yeah, she became very sick. She's now weighted 5 stone at age 18. You know how little 5 stone is.
Yeah, she became anorexic, which means that she was not consuming enough food or throwing up the food that she was consuming.
Yeah, she's 5 stone now. Like,
I don't know what that means in pounds. I can look it up though.
5 stone in pounds. $70 kilogram. Sorry, 70 pound. You know, like how little 70 pound is. Like 5 stone is like for 18 years old. It's like she's like very teen.
It's like half of most healthy women her age.
Yeah. The use of heroin was a method of controlled by the gang, as it left her with no ability to defend herself physically. Her daily existence became a relentless cycle of rape, exploitation, and violence. Eventually, social workers visited her, finally. £70 in it's 32 kilogram. 32 kilogram, not even like 35. 31.7 kilogram. Finally, social workers stepped in, right? Was shocked by both her appearance and condition in which she was living. Concerned for her welfare, she took Chloe to addiction clinic where tests revealed an extremely high concentration of opiates in her system. Chloe was prescribed medication to manage her opiate dependency and gradually weaned herself on the drugs. Around this time, Chloe reconnected with her childhood friend, and their friendship soon developed into the romantic relationship. Her boyfriend became aware of ongoing abuse, and with the help of his father, paid off Chloe's remaining rent and moved her out of her squalid house. Chloe moved in with him, after which she got another job in retail. For a short period, Chloe's life was relatively stable. But due to her unresolved trauma, she soon returned to the drinking heavily, smoking cannabis and gambling. Her workplace was close to her first foster home, and before long she became she come back into contact with members of the gangs that had abused her at that time. The cycle of grooming, exploitations, and abuse soon resumed. Her relationship with her boyfriend broke down, and out of desperation, she reestablished contact with her mother, who had left her, paired her with her husband, and soon moved in back with her. One night, Chloe was out with the members of the gang and drinking heavily. Upon her return to her mother's house, her mother reported her to the police. The police arrested Chloe while she was changing into her PJs, and she was taken to the police station drunk and half naked. She was kept in a cell until 2 a.m. following morning, at which point she was released. They did not provide her any clothing or transportation back to her mother's house. She tried to contact her ex-boyfriend, but he did not respond. Chloe, then 19, and was left stranded. She wandered around the neighborhood for several hours before encountering a gang member who had previously abused her. Cold and desperate, she got into his car, and the following weeks was trafficked across the country. Chloe personally knows at least 20 other girls from her area who were predated on by the Muslim gangs who abused her. The pattern was always the same: grooming, drugging, trafficking, abuse, and rape. Furthermore, Chloe describes being taken into a mosque where imams would describe non-Muslims as infidels and preach that white women who dressed improperly were free game. What does that even mean? What is this religion's teacher in the mosque? In a religious place where Muslim men and women go for worship, telling white women who dressed improperly are free games. You wonder, yeah? Why? Why? Anyone who attend that mosque, from imam to people who heard that sermon and who saw this 19-year-old girl, is in that mosque with all that bruises, with all the signs of abuse, and then did nothing, put them in prison. Put them in prison and then put them in one cell by themselves for a lifetime. I've got to take the person in the backstage because I just noticed we've got like 15 minutes to finish this stream. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think you've been waiting in the backstage for a long time. Thank you very much for being patient. Sir, who are you?
My name is Ziad.
Are you Muslim? Are you Christian?
I'm a Muslim.
You are a Muslim?
I'm a
What
Muslim,
are your
yeah.
thoughts on?
But
What
I
are
don't
your?
follow. I don't follow that.
You don't follow what?
Sorry, say that again.
I was gonna ask, what are your
I don't
thoughts
follow
on?
the traditional Islam.
You don't follow the traditional Islam. So how do people label you? How do you label yourself?
I would say I follow Quran only.
Okay, so you are Quran only Muslim?
Yes.
Are you based in Europe
I was
or
here
in
in the
England?
discussion.
Sorry?
UK.
You are based in UK?
UK.
We were going through this. I don't have that much time to have discussion with you. Hopefully you can call in next week for proper discussion on the topic that you would like to. Since we are talking about the grooming gangs, let me ask you, since you identified yourself as not traditional Muslim, can you be kind enough and then tell me what have you done so far, just a human being plus Quran only Muslim, regarding these Muslim rape gangs in Britain?
I think it's very sickening, but it's got nothing to do with Islam. This is just Muslim people. People are just people, you know. They make their own desires they want to follow. You can't blame any religion for that. I think they're just individual people who are sick people who enjoy this kind of sickening acts. And I believe, right, yeah, it's got nothing to do with the religion. We can't blame Islam for it because Islam does not teach that. 100%.
Actually, I am very disappointed to hear that from you, because simply denying is contribution to these rape gangs. If Islam doesn't teach that, can you be kind enough and then just tell me what is the age of marriage in Islam as a Quran only? Can you please be kind enough and then tell me the situation of dhimmiçi, sex slaves in Islam, Islamic view of Quranic view of women who are not covered? What is the view on that? And my main question was to you, what have you done so far about these grooming gangs, beside coming into the live stream and then saying this has nothing to do with Islam? I find it's mind-blowing. 95% of those people are Muslim who has been convicted, and 87% of them has the Muslim names, and it is just miracle to me that, like, how all of them misunderstood the Islam in different part of UK exactly the same way, that caused minimum of 250,000 white girls to be raped and abused. That's like very big misunderstanding and very, very convinced, like, what is the term for that? And I like all those people misunderstood exactly the same way, whether they are different part of UK, whether they are from Somalia or from Pakistan.
Okay, what I'm saying that it doesn't matter whether they're Muslim gangs, Christian gangs, Buddhist gangs. These are people right here who have got nothing to do. They have no relationship with the true God. That's the point I'm trying to make. You cannot brush Islam or Christianity or any other religion into what people are doing. You know,
Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Is sex slavery evil?
Because Islam does not teach. It's 100% evil because it's not God's law. It's forbidden in Islam. 100% forbidden in Islam.
Why is the Quran
where in Islam does it teach you? Sorry, could you give me proof from the Quran that it is telling us to have sex with underage girls, for example? You know, any proof from the...
I mean,
5 verse 4, but you are not answering
the Quran
question.
Perspective.
Yeah, Quran.
Yeah,
that is Quran, and then has like something called Surah 65 verse 4. But you are not answering Al's question, and you did not answer my question.
Verse 4. What is it that you want me to answer?
First answer Al's question. I just wanted to know the answer to her question. And then I ask, what have you done so far to stop these rape gangs, which you
What have I done so far?
Beside denying? But first go with answering Al's questions, and then we deal with that.
Yeah, sure. But Hatun, I don't know if you remember me. I had a discussion with you before. Do you remember a long time ago?
I wouldn't remember, but I remember I had conversation with Quran only Muslims. That doesn't change the fact that Surah 65 verse 4 is in the Quran. That doesn't change the fact that you've got these sex slaves, your right hand possessed in the Quran. That doesn't change the fact that minimum of 250,000 girls, white British girls, sexually abused, harassed, raped, put into the prostitution by 95% of people who are convicted has sharing the same ideology. That doesn't change that fact.
Okay, I'll tell you what this ideology is. They're taking everything right here. What they are doing is based on what they follow in the traditional.
Mr. Muslim.
No, hadith.
Mr. Muslim.
Yes.
Al, did you get question?
Yes.
Did you get answer to your question?
I believe my last question to him was something along the lines of, why does Allah command it in the Quran, sex slavery?
Show me the proof. Okay, I'll show you the proof. You have to show me the proof where, because I've read the Quran. I've been reading Quran for a long time, right? From the exact correct translation. If you're reading the mistranslation, that's you need to check up why you're reading the wrong translation. Where does it say?
Do you read Arabic?
That I'm not Arabic, but I can go to the Arabic root meaning and to understand or extract out the true interpretation of every word. It's easy. We can do that. But most people in the Islamic world are what they're doing. They misinterpret the verses of God because they want to fit the hadith culture into it. Now, in the hadith, yes, you can marry a 9-year-old or even less than that, right? You know, there's sick ideas written by men. The Quran is not something that a man has written. It's from, no one can produce the Quran. The Quran means reading. No one can produce a reading like God. So you can't change the words of God. They can change the translation, they can change the meaning, they can change the interpretation, right? But what the true interpretation comes from the revelation when Allah sends it down through the Holy Spirit, okay? And that is the true interpretation. And it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to come to you unless you purify yourself. This is the rule of how to read the book of God. If you're not purified, if you have these thoughts, pre-thought ideas, what Islam is, okay, before you open the book, then you're never going to understand anything. You have to come with purity. You have to come with an empty mind, and you read it as if you're reading it for the first time, without any bias from the traditional Islam, what Islam is supposed to be. That is not the way to understand the book. Now, if you can give me the proof, I can give you the proof that there's no such thing that you can marry underage. It's forbidden, right?
Yeah, I would very much like to see where it's forbidden, because I see Surah 4:24, I see Surah 4:3, I see Surah 60.
Okay, let's start with Surah 4:3.
Hold on.
Okay, let's start.
Not 66. I see 33:50. I see I think I already said 4:24, 4:3. Yeah, so that, I mean, that's like there's more that I could go through, but those are some of the ones that come up.
Okay, let's just start with one. Yeah, if I can prove to you, even by one verse, right? Yeah, then once that is corrected, then the others will be corrected at the same time. You know, but you have to understand what verse is saying. Okay, let's start with Surah 4. Yeah.
Yep. So in 4:3 and 4:24, which is in Surah 4, both of those are in Surah 4.
Okay, let's start with 4:3. Okay. it says here. Okay, I'll read it out to you. Right?
So which translation can we trust? Pick a translation that you trust. Like, can you tell us right now which translation we
I don't
trust?
use any. Okay, how I study, right? Yeah, I don't follow any translations as such. What I do, right? Yeah, I'll go to the root meaning. You have to to the root meaning. You extract the meanings from that, and that will give you the true interpretation.
So you don't
now, if you
speak
even go to
any Arabic?
ChatGPT nowadays, and if you tell the ChatGPT, I don't need to speak Arabic to understand the book of Allah, because
you don't speak any Arabic, and you don't trust a single person. Sorry, I think there's a connection error. I don't mean to speak over you. It just, like, the sound cuts out, and then I start speaking,
Sure.
and then your sound resumes.
I know, I understand. So what I'm saying is that the Quranic Arabic is not spoken by any Arabs in any part of the world. It's got nothing to do with the Arab speakers, right? Yeah, in the Middle East. Quran Arabic is completely unique to God. Okay, this is why you can't change the words of God. Can never be changed, because it's in all times. Right? All languages change every 1,000 years. Every 1,000 years, the language has disappeared. It doesn't matter if it's English, Spanish, or any language. Every 1,000 years, the language is completely gone, and it just starts evolving into a new, different languages. It's like a spectrum.
Yeah. So I would like to circle back to the actual topic and not go off on this long other thing, because we've got like 3 minutes left. The Quran has been changed lots of times, including by Allah himself. The Quran is not perfectly clear in Arabic. So I understand why English translations or whatever other translations may not be perfectly clear either. But if you're saying that even the scholars of the Quran can't properly understand and explain what the Quran means, and that you have to rely on yourself to do translations when you don't even understand the Arabic, that all sounds
no.
very, very wrong.
No, it's not how it is. No, it doesn't sound. You don't understand what I'm saying. What the tafsir that we get from the traditional Islam, they are not speaking the Quranic Arabic. They are using the modern Arabic.
Okay, so
what I'm saying to you, Ayat. So I'll tell you, it's very simple, right, to understand the Quran.
Translation is correct.
No, I'm not saying that every word is incorrect, right? But there's certain words, right? They will change it to fit their narratives from the Hadith. Now, I'll read out this to you, right? Yeah. Okay. It says, well, if you fear that not you will be able to do justice in the orphans, so marry what seems suitable, right, to you from the women, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that not you can do justice, then marry one. Okay, or what possesses. This is the one you have. Malakat aymanukum, right? Yeah, what your right hand possess, right? Yeah, what is actually saying is what your oath has, what you have made oath with God, that you're going to take care of these women, right? Yeah, if you are going to marry 4 wives, okay, and that you must give them, right? Yeah, they do right. Okay.
There's 2 options. Who are the 2 options?
Sure.
If you just give it a very easy answer. Yeah, there are 2 options. Who are the 2 options?
Yeah, okay, I'll explain it. It says that if you fear that you cannot do justice, right, then marry one. Okay.
With who?
Now, do you that's only saying if you have fear, but if you don't have the if you can't, because look, we can't do justice, right? Yeah, to the women.
It says orphan girls
because not orphan. It doesn't say girls.
Orphan girls.
It doesn't say girls.
It does in the translations that I'm looking at, but
orphan. No, not girls.
Okay, orphans. So it could be orphan boys,
right?
You marry.
That's not.
Could be orphan boys you marry.
No. What I'm saying.
Okay, so orphan girls.
What in the Quranic, as a general, any woman who's not married, any woman who doesn't have a father, any woman who's single, who doesn't have a male figure to take care of, all women are orphans in the Quranic perspective. All women are orphans if they do not have a father. No, from the Quranic perspective, not from the public tell us right here or what the laws tell us. I'm giving you the Quranic perspective. I think. Okay, from the Quranic perspective, all women, right, who are single, who do not have a male figure to take care of, okay, Allah calls them orphans. So Allah is expecting the believers to marry women, 2, 3s, or 4s, right, yeah, who need support.
From the Quranic scholars, they say orphan girls,
right? No, but this is what I'm saying. I'm not using the Quranic scholars. They're using tafsir from their own perspective to fit the narrative, right? It doesn't.
But you're saying
girls,
from an Islamic perspective. Right? You're actually incorrect about that, because the Islamic perspective is what I have presented.
No, sorry, Quranic. Sorry, I meant Quranic perspective. Let me rephrase.
So all the Islamic scholars are wrong.
Okay, not the Islamic. 100% they are wrong, because Allah says they are wrong. They're following their own desires. They're following their own. Allah says, "Woe to those who write the scripture, who write the book with their own hands, and they say this is from their God." Woe to
the Islamic scholars wrote the Quran,
no, the Quran
with their own hands and claimed it to be from Allah.
No, the Hadith, the Bible.
We're not reading Hadith. We're reading Quran. It says orphan girls. The Islamic scholars.
Yeah, no, but your narrative is. Where does it say orphan girls?
It's not my narrative.
Yeah, but
I would hate for this to be my narrative.
Hello. Look, you're a nice girl. Yeah, I like you. I've been listening to you, right? Yeah, and I'm 100%, supportive in whatever you believe, because I'm totally against it. It says here, right? Yeah, yatama, al yatama, right? It doesn't say girls.
You said you don't know Arabic.
It just says al yatama. Yatama means the orphans. No, I know. I don't speak Arabic, but I can understand words from the Arabic, because I've been, you get to, once you study the book, you start coming to know certain words, right? But
Islamic scholars also know Arabic words, especially those who speak Arabic, and they translated orphan girls. So again,
they have translated.
I keep circling back to this because your whole argument seems to be based on Arabic better than Arabic scholars.
No, what I'm saying to you are the Arabic scholars, okay, they are manipulating the Quranic words of God. They are doing it to fit the narrative from the Hadith, because this is why the Hadith exists.
Mr. Muslim, do you mind if I just jump in, because we are already 3 minutes over time? Mr. Muslim, sure. I want to gently encourage you to call in back next week, and then we can have deeper conversation on all those kind of things. So,
okay, what time is the best time next week? I'll bring all the verses out so to prove it. I want this lady to be there as well. Is it Ellie? Elohan?
L.
Yeah, I want her to be there as well.
So it starts 9:30 UK time. 9:30 UK time. Usually we take the callers in. I didn't notice that you were waiting for a long time, and then I wanted to finish Chloe's testimony stuff. But let me just say something. Surah 65 verse 4. You can divorce the girls while they are not bleeding yet.
It doesn't say girls. It says Nisa.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Yeah, you can make your case. However you want to make your case, sure. Call in and then make your case. Your right hand possess. Again and again, your right hand possess, your right hand possess, your right hand possess. I'm sorry to tell you, according to your own version, it is the oath you make between you and Allah, but not according to Islam. So I am so much heartbroken that Muslims who decided to go around since 1950s, rape, torture, put young girls into the prostitution, and at least we know 250,000 of young girls with the inspiration of Islam, even in certain occasions because of Islam, putting all these girls into danger and committing crime. I'm so heartbroken that they did not take your version of the Quran. They went with the orthodox understanding of the Quran. They went with the orthodox understanding of the Quran.
Okay, and before I go right,
minimum of 250,000 girls are being simply destroyed because of them. because of
I
their
will just destroy one part of
because of the way they understood the Quran and Islam. That's point number one. Point number two. My question was very simple to you. My question was very simple. What have you done so far about it? You said you live in UK. Beside denying it, did you get in touch with your local MP and then ask him to start investigation, do something about it? Did you get in touch with your police and then push them to open those private investigations, fire those police officers and then put all those police officers in the prison? Did you get in touch with your police officers and then ask them to go and investigate these hospital workers and then put them all in prison? Social services, same. School staff, same. Have you done that or not? That's all I'm asking. Like, you can deny as much as you want. Absolutely up to you.
I understand.
But we are dealing with convicted individuals throughout the rape gangs. 95% of them are Muslim, and 87% of them has the Muslim names. Mohammed, and Mohammed.
Okay.
All of them.
All of this is happening.
Islam. That's absolutely up to you. But what have you done about
before
it?
You let me go? Okay, but before you let me go, right? This is the verse why the people are doing what they are doing, right? It's the menstruation side of things, right? This menstruation, isn't it? What that verse is saying, menstruation, right? Yeah. It says here, and those who have despaired from the menstruation, from the nisa'akum, your women, if you are in doubt. So their waiting period is 3 months, right? And then it says here, and the ones who have not menstruated. This is the one, isn't it? This is why this is all of this is happening, isn't it? This part of the verse, right? Yeah, people are justifying to marry young girls and to have or rape them or do whatever they want to do, right? But it's not saying that. It says that, and the ones who have not menstruated is talking about all the women who are born barren. It's talking about the women. There's some women who are born barren. Listen to me. There's a verse.
Listen to me.
No. It's not talking about the girls. It's talking about al-nisa'akum.
Please listen to me.
Please let me finish. Before you let me go, just let me finish this part. This is very important because this is a controversy verse, isn't it?
No. That's not the point I'm making. Okay, that's not the point I'm making. People misunderstood that verse according to you. That's absolutely fine. Call in and then we dig into it and then we deal with it next week. My question is, those verses are being misunderstood by all those criminals exactly the same way that caused minimum of 250,000 girls to be raped.
This is why they will be punished by God. This is why they will be punished by God. This is why they will be punished by God, because they're breaking the laws of God. So when you die, they're going to be punished by God.
I am asking, what have you done about it as someone who lives in UK? What have you done so far?
Why are you getting up about all of this now when this has been happening for thousands and thousands of years? There are women being raped and their children are being raped even today in every part of the world. You can't stop that. You can't stop evil from happening. Are you saying that you're going to be a superhero now and you're going to stop the? You can stop them, but there's going to be more coming. There's going to be more coming. You keep stopping, more will come because that's the will of God. And let me just finish. And Allah is saying that Allah has given.
And I'm going to move you to backstage.
Oh God.
So, if you are expecting me to take the opportunity and then say, I need to say, oh, I am sorry. Suddenly I brought this to your attention and then it hurt your feelings. It hurts the feelings of the police, MP, government, social services, nurses, doctors, school staff. I'm not going to do that. I am bothered by it. And I've been bothered by it since 2014, 2013. And I use the opportunities to talk about it.
Okay, tell me what you can do about it.
It's going to come back again.
You can talk about it.
There are people like you who are denying these Islamic verses. People who is being convicted and end up in prison, inspired by Islam and then did it under the name of Islam. I'm not playing the denial game.
No, in spite.
I'm not playing the denial game at all. I am having problem. I am having concern. And I know it's going to come back again. Why? Because my politicians turned blind eye. Social service turned blind eye. Government turned blind eye. Police turned blind eye. That is, Islam is still exists. As a Christian, we turn blind eye to Islam. These dangerous ideologies still exist. As long as this ideology, according to you, yeah, it's misinterpreted by all those people. As long as Islam exists, it's going to come back. So therefore, all of us who are breathing out and in, I think we should join in our camp and then stop this Islam. While Islam is there, we will hear the grooming gangs, rape gangs again and again. That's how it is. Anyway, Mr. Muslim, call back next week, 9:30 UK time. And then we love to talk to you about your own interpretation of Islam. And then we can deal with that, all that. I am biblically told I cannot turn blind eye when there is injustice, whether it hurts your feelings, whether you think, oh yeah, I want to talk about it now or tomorrow. We all should repent because we did not talk about it when it started happening. We did not talk about it yesterday or day before yesterday. That including police officers, to the government, to the hospital staff, everyone who is involved. Even imams in that mosques, all that. We should all take responsibility for our part and repent for that.
Respectfully, I've been speaking up against it for a while. But people actually don't want to listen about this kind of thing. I found that repeatedly, that people do not want to listen because it is horrific, it is disgusting, it is evil, and people don't want to have to think about these sort of things. But it needs to be dealt with. And I do have a verse, well, I wanted to pull up one verse, but then I think the two verses before are also helpful. Do you mind if I show that? So this is Micah. We see this in Micah 6. So Micah 6:8 is what I wanted to pull up, but starting two verses beforehand. With what shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before God on high? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with with thousands of rams, with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn son? Sorry, I don't know why I keep misspeaking. Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? Here is the response. He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God? I urge everyone to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with God. To know him, to make him known, and pursue justice with kindness. It is not kindness to sit back and do nothing about these things. It's not justice to allow these things to continue to happen and go unpunished.
And
It is not walking.
It is not kindness or justice to simply get into the denial game. Take responsibility and do something about it. People think denial is river in Egypt. No, we moved on from those stages for a long, long, long time ago.
Sister, would you, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to deal with before we wrap up, but would you pray for Chloe with all of us before we close? And for many more like her.
Yeah, we pray for God's justice. We pray for healing. Time doesn't heal. I'll tell you something. Time doesn't heal. Only Lord Jesus Christ heal. And everyone who is involved in this crime, directly or indirectly, we pray for justice for them. And we will stop here. Al, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much, everyone who joined us in the chat. Please go and then read the whole document, and then do something about it. Do something about it. Actually, I've got 2 super chats. Thank you very much for your generosity, brother. Yes, it is ugly, speechless, but it is happening. It has happened. It is still happening. Thank you very much for your generous, sister. How did the ER doctors not report this as a violent assault to authorities? Broken bottle in vagina of the child. Yeah, they all should get into the prison. They should all go into prison. Thank you very much, everyone who joined us. Thank you very much to Mr. Muslim who called in. Call back next week, and then we can have proper debate and discussion of your interpretation of Quran as well as Islam, and then we can figure out how we can get those Muslims who are exactly the same way misinterpreting Islam and damaging minimum of 250,000 girls in Britain within last couple of decades. Al, thank you very much for joining me as well. We will see you sometime next week, everyone. God bless you all.
And God guide you.